everyone and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. Now, what do we have in store for you today? Well, my guests include Helen Hardbord, who saved for 10 years doing film extras on top of her day job, all to create her rather unique online fiction-based business. I'll also be talking to her web developer, Efua, who is working hard to encourage women to get involved in this currently male-dominated industry. I'll also be showing you my latest challenge. We have, of course, our fitness tip with Jane Wrafter, and this time she's joined by Aaliyah. And also we'll have the weekly makeup tips by Maegan Gregoire. And of course, I'll be answering one of your questions. But first of all, we have the news with Excel. Hello, Excel.
Hello, Chrissy.
Who's feeling, as you can see, we've got tissues all over the place because she's feeling a little bit under the, well, not a lot of it under the weather, I would say.
There's a lot of weather on me right now, Chrissy.
Oh,
yeah.
darling. I'm glad you came though.
I thought I'd be here for, everywhere. Well, you know, spread the love, spread the germs. I'm a giver. What can I say?
Will you be all right to do the news for the viewers?
I shall try my hardest. It's not a problem. Not a problem at all. And I've got some cheerful news as well today. Some slightly funny, but I'll start off with the really, the one that put a smile on my face. A man got a birthday present for, well, a birthday sort of celebration from his wife that he would never forget because he is a big fan of a very famous chicken shop. So because of this, Kyle Stockton got his wife baking him a cake that was made to look like a KFC chicken bucket. The woman put up, you know, she's posed with a proud photo.
Oh
that's
gosh,
the cake
really
there,
good,
which she made.
Yeah.
And she said she made her with the birthday coming up. That's it there against the background. We can see looking quite beautiful there.
Oh. And
cutting through the cake, you can see it's actually made up of layers of, you know, it is actual cake. Because what happened was with his birthday around the corner, she was stuck for ideas, his wife, Laura, and she turned to her sons, Josh, who's 8, and Harry, who's 5, for advice. And of course, you know, the eldest Josh said, "What about KFC, mummy? A chicken bucket, he likes that." And of course, that got her thinking of not literally getting him a chicken bucket for his birthday, because I don't think he would have really appreciated that. But then again, he may have. But she,
as well as,
yeah, well as, isn't it? But she ended up baking a cake that looked like a life-size bargain bucket, complete with sides and ketchup. She actually made everything from the bucket to the chicken. It was all cake.
Talented.
She used Rice Krispies and cornflakes and marshmallows to make the chicken. And she actually, because she had, if you look at the picture there, she had actually ketchup, chips, there was corn on the cob. I think the second picture kind of shows it more. Yeah, you see the corn on the cob, you see the ketchup, you see I think there was like popcorn chicken, chips, and then the bucket itself. Everything was very well, you know, so she loved it.
Peckish.
Absolutely. But then she says she doesn't bake professionally, but she says she always used to what she doesn't.
She should start her own business. Wow,
that's exactly what she started now. She started a baked treats business. And why not? If you have this sort of talent, brilliant. Okay. Absolutely. There's a slightly funny story, although it really isn't.
Oh, should I be worried?
Well, yeah, slightly. You know me already by now. A young mum was forced to flee her flat when her e-cigarette burst into flames.
Oh, no.
Well, this is the thing. She grabbed her young sons and ran outside in time, so no one was hurt. However, she had attached her e-cigarette to her iPhone USB plug, which she wasn't supposed to because it specifically states, according to the company, states clearly that the e-cigarette should only be recharged using the charger provided. So this is the young lady. I think this is her younger son, and this happened in Birmingham. So the West Midlands Fire Service did come out to attend and everything, and said the e-cigarettes pose a risk because their lithium batteries are liable to explode if they're plugged into the wrong charger. So
do they make that really clear though?
The company, it did say, actually, it did say that the company did put a warning in February to say, because there was a similar incident at a Birmingham office. And so the company that makes the e-cigarettes had said, look, you should not use anything other than the charger that has been provided.
My friend's phone, she was charging her phone and the phone exploded and made a hole in the floorboard.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it when she showed me the pictures. And the thing is, her 3-year-old was always picking up the phone and you know, playing with it and everything like that. It was really shocking. When I saw the pictures, I thought, oh my God.
Goodness me.
So obviously she's taken up with the company.
Yeah, there's always risk with all these different things. But I think, particularly, for example, in this case, I don't think she'll be able to get anything for it because on this occasion she had used something different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I suppose in your friend's case, you can say, look,
pursuing it.
I used it, so you need to.
She's got the pictures, she's got all the proof. I won't say which phone company it is. Although maybe I should.
Let's not name and shame just yet, Chrissy. No. Yes, let's not yet. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad at least no one was hurt. But I think the fire service and the company are echoing the advice again. Stick to what has been provided because you don't want to. It's
like that woman that got electrocuted and she died when she was using her phone while it was charging.
Yes,
she just come out of the shower. I thought, was it you that brought the news?
No, it wasn't me, but I remember that story.
You sort of don't think, because I do that all the time. I'm always like, my phone's running out of battery, and then I put it on the charge, and I'm talking to someone. And since I heard that, I thought, okay.
I think it's very risky because there's several versions of all these stories as well. Another person had it plugged in, and it was on her bed, and the bed caught on fire. Woke up with the smell of burning because she'd left the phone on her, was it her bed or her bedside cabinet or something, but something caught fire.
To be so careful.
So you just really need to be careful. So it's quite a, one of those things. It's
meant to be a safety show today.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. But guess what she's now said, actually, this young lady, who is 22, by the way. She said, because she's now getting put up in a B&B while the flat is being repaired. But she's vowed never to smoke again.
Oh, good.
She says, I would never buy, she wrote on Facebook, I'll never buy another e-cigarette and I have no intention of returning to normal cigarettes.
Great, good for her.
There you go, one person.
See, it just takes a little explosion.
That's all it took. That's all it took. Now you see the funny side of it. An interesting bit of news that I found is a family who have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old who have the sculpted frames of Hercules.
Oh.
Shall we have a look at picture 1? This is a 7-year-old who has a 6-pack, or that looks like an 8-pack from what I can count here.
Hold on a minute. Is that real?
That is absolutely real. That is absolutely real.
Do they train or is this natural?
They perform stunts. Apparently, it says here that Giuliano, who's 9, has broken 2 world records for 90-degree vertical press-ups.
I think that looks really strange on a child. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And another one for holding, that's the first record, and then the other record is for holding onto a pole with his body held out horizontally like a flag.
That takes tremendous amount of upper body strength.
These people, they perform handstand press-ups. They do all sorts of things. They lift
the other one.
They lift dumbbells. That's the older one.
Yeah.
Giuliano. He lifts 4-kilogram dumbbells like it's nothing. And they do heavy weights to work on their biceps.
I don't think that's good. Oh my God, that looks horrible. I'm sorry. Do you guys agree?
I was slightly freaked out. I'm not going to lie. I was like, what?
That's a man's body on a little child.
Exactly. No. The family are from.
Can't be good for them at that age. They're still developing.
Well, it doesn't say anything here about them taking any supplements or whatever.
That kind of exercises, it can't be good. Well, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Maybe if there's any doctors watching.
Well, I'm just thinking, at that age, is it really necessary? If it was a teenager or something, I can understand. But at that age, you really have the capabilities to be pumping iron. Really? Because it's a bit. I mean, the family have a reputation. They're actually called the Hercules clan because their dad also does the same thing, and
so they want to be like daddy.
Well, indeed, like father, like sons, and they have high hopes. The father has high hopes of his boys achieving international stardom and netting his family fame and fortune.
Well, hopefully they'll keep growing.
Well,
if they're getting all muscular, and maybe they won't grow the other way.
Well, this is the thing, because they don't want like short and muscular and. Probably use them like a doorstop or something. But anyway, moving on quickly. The family are from Romania and they found themselves in dire financial straits. And that is why they decided to make a name for themselves doing this. And so now they're back in Romania and their father is scraping by through scrap metal dealing, which leaves little to cover for the boys' extensive training schedule. But he is hoping to make more money and sort of carry on with the dream.
I just hope they just check in with doctors first.
This is the thing. I mean,
for me, it doesn't look right.
Slightly, yeah. it is a bit.
I think we've got time for one more, Excel.
Well, okay, I shall end this bit while I...
Excuse
us.
You cut to me while she's like... No. You ready, Excel?
I am.
If you want more information about the show, you can visit the website, chrissybshow.tv. You ready?
I am.
Okay, got it.
Right, okay. I'll end this with something close to your heart, Chrissy.
Food?
No, what other thing?
Cats.
That's it. There is a beautiful curvaceous cat. This is a personal ad for a cat, by the way. A beautiful curvaceous cat desperately needs a home and someone to help him through his dieting stress.
Oh no.
Just take a minute to appreciate the amazing bed cuddles Chunky, the ginger feline, could give you.
Terrible.
You'll never be alone again. The rotund Moggy is currently being cared for by Cats Protection in Cornwall after his previous owners just couldn't help him fight the bulge. Now he urgently needs...
What were they feeding him?
I haven't got a clue. Obviously, food.
Cats are quite pretty good at kind of eating just what they need.
But the thing is, someone did say to me once and said it's the wet food that causes them to gain weight as opposed to the dry food. I don't know, you're the expert on cats. Is that the case?
Well, we have to go to a break now, so
oh, no.
I'll give my cat a bit of both, actually.
Well, there you go. But it's at risk.
With me?
Absolutely, I shall stay with you. And
because we're going to talk at the end of the show.
We
so
can.
All right.
Absolutely.
So we have to go to a quick break, but do stay tuned because we have our success story after this break.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Now, before I meet my guest, let's take a look at the latest challenge that I did. Hi, everyone. I'm in Kent today with my friend Grazzy here, and we're going to have a go at some land yachting. Now, the reason I'm speaking like this is because I'm absolutely frozen. It's raining, it's very windy. I know we don't look gorgeous at the moment, but never mind, we're on a challenge. So we're going to give it a go. Haven't done this before. You haven't done this before, have you?
No, not at all.
Okay, so it's new for both of us. So let's see how we do.
We are Prodigy.
I've just completed my land yachting challenge, and I'm here with Andy Payne, who runs this lovely, what would you call it? Fish's Land Yachts. So how did this idea come about?
I used to race kite buggies and then had a few health problems and got into teaching, and this was just so much easier. As you can see, how long did it take you?
Not long at all to learn.
5-10 minutes and you're sailing on your own. So it makes life a lot easier for us. We open all year round apart from Christmas Day. I'm not allowed to come down Christmas Day, but we sail Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Unless we get a bigger group booking, then we come down another day in the week.
And is it children and adults that can do this?
Yeah, we take children as well. We've got a twin yacht that we normally use, but because we had other people booked in, we have to change it over and put a single yacht on. But when we know we got young children, then we put the twin yacht on, so it is for everybody.
Andy, thanks so much. It was great fun. Well, I don't know, guys, what happened to Grazzy. She ran off somewhere. I think she got a little bit scared. so I think yeah, she failed. I definitely passed. So see you again next time for my next challenge. Grazie definitely ran away, but it was all good fun. Okay, so now I have two lovely business ladies with me. We have Helen and Efua. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Really well. So good to have you on the show. So I want to know all about this business that you created it, right? You came up with the idea, and then you're doing the actual website side of things, aren't you?
Development, yes.
Yeah, Effa's doing all the work,
Right.
The idea.
So how did it all come about, Helen?
A few years ago, I realised that whenever I go on holiday, I really want to find novels that are set in the place that I'm going to. And there's never been a really easy way of doing that. And I just thought, wouldn't it be great if there was one site where you could go and type in your location and get a list of books that are set in that place.
Just to kind of make you feel part of the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Get the atmosphere before you go, whatever. So that's what I've done.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And it's interesting why that you didn't just keep it at like, oh, it would be nice. Because a lot of people say, oh, it would be nice if this existed. It would be nice if this was already in place, and then it kind of stops there.
I know. Well, I looked and did quite a lot of research, and it really just wasn't anywhere. So I thought, right, we need to do this, because there's loads of people out there that would appreciate it. It wasn't just my idea, and everyone I spoke to said, oh yeah, you should do that.
That would be a really good idea.
So the big challenge was finding someone to work with, really, and having already worked with Efua for a little while, it was just an obvious choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, had you had this idea for a while before you actually sort of put the wheels into motion, or?
Yeah, I think it was quite a slow burner. So I had the idea and I kept thinking about it. I didn't really have the funds to do much about it at the beginning. So I had to save money to do it. So
is that why you're doing all the film extras?
Exactly. So film extra work, film and TV extra work. And of course that's, you're not in control of when that comes up. And there was a big spate of films where they needed guys for soldiers, for army films. And of course that's no good for women. So there was a big gap for ages where I couldn't really earn anything. So that's why it's taken so long, I think. It's been quite sporadic.
But always stayed with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now what was it about Efua that you liked, that you wanted to work with her? Because it's quite important to choose the kind of the right people to...
It's so important. It's so important. I think passion. I mean, as soon as I told Efua about the idea, she just loved it.
That's really important.
Yeah, and I know that you're just brilliant at what you do. So,
Thank you.
Thanks very
How did you feel when you got chosen?
Well, no, she actually approached me and talked to me about the idea, and like she said, as soon as I heard it, I thought, fantastic. I love books, I like travel, this is a great idea. I haven't heard anything about it, so I had some real enthusiasm for it, so it was an easy choice to work with Helen on this.
And we get on really well. I mean, we do have
we
do have a laugh, don't we? Our Skype calls can get a bit hysterical sometimes in a good way.
But it's important to have fun while you're working, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can't all be like
that's the thing, it's always really easy, I think, to bounce ideas back and forth and talk about things,
Yeah,
so,
definitely. And also because it's something I'm kind of doing on my own, apart from that, it's somebody to talk to and get inspiration from, and like you said, we bounce ideas off, and it's just really, encouraging. It's really nice to have that.
Now, are you doing it sort of just that, or are you doing other stuff as well at the same time?
We're both doing other stuff as well, aren't we? Yeah, so we kind of have day jobs as well.
Yeah, I have other projects and day jobs and things like that. Yeah.
How do you cope with everything? How do you manage your time?
Well, again, it's enthusiasm for it. If you have an excitement and a passion for something, it's not really hard work. It's kind of fun, So I enjoy development and software development. So to me, I would do it even if I wasn't being paid for it in my normal job. So
now talking about that, because obviously there aren't many women in that kind of industry. What is it that appeals to you about it, and why do you want more women there?
Well, it's actually really creative work. That's the thing. There's an idea that it can be, kind of, I don't know, boring, or it can just be very technical only. You have to be some sort of mathematician to be able to cope with it, and computer
I remember
design.
doing programming at college actually. I wasn't very good, but it did work. The thing did actually work in the end.
Well, that's great. But the college
it was really exciting when it was.
That's the thing. But that excitement, when you actually take it to the real world, and it's actually programs that people will use as opposed to something that you're supposed to pass a test on.
Yeah.
Then you get a real passion. It's like anything you make. If you build something, if you bake a cake, whatever it is, you've made it, you've created it to your own creative input that's gone into it. So you have that love and that kind of passion for it.
We get very excited, don't we, when we put something new on the site and it works. We're like, obviously it works. But
What's been the most challenging thing for you both then with this whole thing?
Ooh, I suppose the length of time it's taken. You know, I kept sort of thinking, oh, someone's going to get there before me. That was my big thing and my big drive, like to keep going and trying, you know, because I really wanted this thing to be out there. And
how does it feel now that it is?
It's fantastic. It's really new. It's only been launched a few weeks, so it's still really
What's
exciting.
actually the name of it's Yonder,
It's
isn't
yonder.com.
it?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the response been like? I know obviously it's just been like a little while, sort of a few weeks.
Yeah, it's been really good. Yeah, it's been really good. I think people either just instantly get it, they get the whole concept, and you know, if you're a book lover, and especially if you like travelling, or even if you don't like travelling, actually, it's like a really cheap way of not going somewhere, because you know, a really well written book can totally transport you to a place.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking about the future now, to have things online as well, like other stuff like little videos and...
Yeah, there's so much. Yeah, we're going to do short story writing competitions soon, and there's loads of, we've got millions of ideas, haven't we?
So many.
Watch the space.
Exactly.
So you're going to need more people to help you.
Yeah, we will.
Or you're going to start doing it full time.
Yeah,
right?
That's it.
yeah. Well,
the
there's
end.
definitely, I mean, there's lots of opportunity for people to get involved. So definitely, and you can add books to the site as well. Actually, you know, if you've read a book that's
I had a look
somewhere,
actually. Yeah,
did you? Yeah.
You can add your own books as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Really nice.
Yeah. So we're building. You know, the database is growing. So yeah.
And what would you say to people that are kind of maybe have an idea and they're a little bit like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work, I don't know, I'm scared about the time it's going to take me. What would you say to that person?
I would say check that it's a viable idea first, so you're not running with something that's never really going to happen. And once you've decided it is, just go for it and don't listen to your critics. And find someone like Efua to work with.
Oh, that's so nice. I bet you have loads of like your meetings in coffee shops and stuff, don't you? Do you?
We do, maybe.
One or two.
I can just imagine. And how about you, Efua? So you're encouraging lots of ladies to get into website design?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm really interested in talking to people about, mainly like the software engineering aspects, so the real programming aspects of it. I mean, there are loads of women, I believe there are a load of people in web design, so to make sites maybe look the way you want it to. But, you know, there's not so many people in the hardcore, women especially in the hardcore IT aspects of it, and, you know, databases, and I'm not going to get too techie, but that kind of development and software. And I only really noticed that when I left the company I was, you know, working in for long term and became a contractor, that there weren't that many women out there doing what I'm doing. And I'm always looking for role models, not just in IT, just women.
You're going to have to be the role model. We're going to have to follow you. That's it.
Well,
ladies.
Great.
Brilliant. Ladies, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to both of you, and I can see it's going to go far, because I really like the relationship that you have with each other, and I think that's so important as well. It's not just about the idea, but even like the manpower to take it forward. I think it's brilliant. So all the best for the future, and brilliant idea.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Okay. All right, so after the break, we're going to be speaking to Maegan with the makeup tips, so don't go away.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Now we are going to be going across to Maegan's makeup corner in just a moment, but first of all, let's take a look at this video with Jane Wrafter and Efua.
Hi guys, I'm Jane. Welcome to your fitness tips. I'm with Efua today.
Hi there.
Hi Efua. We're going to show you today how you can partner up with someone and do assisted stretches. Stretches are so important, a really important component of your fitness. Everybody should stretch, whether you exercise or not. It's really good for you. So I'm going to show you 3 stretches. It's a little bit of fun if you're working out with a friend, and also you'll get more out of these stretches. And the other thing is, if someone's stretching for you, you can relax the rest of your body. You don't have to engage the opposing muscles. Okay, so I'm going to show you with Efua the hamstring stretch. He's going to stretch the back of my thigh for me while I just relax and lie down on the mat. That's it. So I guess the important thing is communication, because I'm going to say to Efua, go and push that a little bit further, keep going. And it's really important, obviously, that you go into these stretches carefully, because you could cause injury, couldn't you, Efua, if you went in too hard.
And I think, like you said, ask your partner, is that enough? Can you feel the stretch? If you can go a little bit more, then obviously you'd ask the person that as well. And the person needs to stay nice and relaxed as well, taking deep breaths throughout the exercise.
Because the other option would be for me to be pulling here and I'd be tensing up through the shoulders. So you can put me into a nice deep stretch while I just relax. That feels really nice actually. So that's your first one. Brilliant, Elia, thank you. Next one is the front of the thighs. Anyone who does spinning, cycling, running, you need to stretch out your quadriceps, front of the thigh. This is a really good one. Okay, so I'm just going to relax down on the mat.
Yeah. And then I'm going to be putting slight pressure just through the tops of the laces of Jane's, and then you're going to be bringing the heels to the butt, like so. And then again, you're asking your partner if you can feel that stretch. If they can't feel the stretch, they can just push the hips down into the mat a little, and that should increase the stretch into the quads. So that should feel that.
Yeah, I can feel it. You can go a bit deep if you want. Push, push, push. Yeah, that's it. I can feel it now. And I'm just going to press the hips into the floor so I can feel it a bit more. And again, the only other option for me to get into this stretch would be for me to be holding here. So I'd be again tensing in the upper body. So that works really well.
It's perfect, so then Jane can stay relaxed without introducing other muscle groups to help her pull the quads in.
So we've got one more to show them, haven't we? This position is a down dog. You'll often see it in Pilates and yoga. So Elia's got his heels aiming towards the floor. Doesn't matter if they don't get to the floor. Shoulders away from the ears, and he's pressing his chest back towards his thighs. Now I'm just going to lean some body weight into Elia's lower back and start to push. And can you feel how the weight's transferring?
Straight away I can feel that into the hamstrings, the back of their thighs.
It takes it deeper, doesn't it? And it feels nice in the lower back as well, doesn't it?
And also just because when you put a lot of tension through the shoulders on this kind of takes away from the shoulders and takes it into the hamstrings.
Totally agree with that. It feels really nice. Try this, I recommend it. You will love it. We did it in class last week in Partners and everyone absolutely loved it. Excellent, okay, fabulous. Thanks, Elia. So enjoy your stretching, enjoy your workouts, and we'll see you next time.
See you soon.
Thank you, Jane and Elia. Were you paying attention, Maegan?
I was. I'm going to stretch right after this.
You've just done a marathon, actually, haven't you?
I have.
What was that like?
My legs did hurt. I did have a good stretch, I have to say. The quads and the glutes.
Okay.
Gave them a good 20 seconds each. Okay. It's very important.
How far did you run?
A half marathon.
Half marathon. Wow. She's very fit, this lady. Okay, what are we doing today then?
Today, Chrissy, we are going to go through different types of brushes and their purpose. So
yeah, because I'm always wondering why she's got like a million brushes with her, and apparently they've all got a use for something.
Yes, yes, they do have a purpose, and they do have guidelines. So, like I say, there's guidelines because some brushes have multiple uses. Okay. So, but you also do have to be, if you're using the same brush for different applications, be sure that it's clean before you use it to apply a different color. Yeah. For instance, there is a blusher brush, which you could use for the cheeks, as well as it is big enough that if you wanted to, you could use this for a powder as well, because you don't need as much accuracy.
Let me hold that one up so we can get a close-up.
So, Chrissy, one of the things is that brushes come in different densities and also synthetic or real hair. And so some things would be used for liquids and some things are better used for powders. Okay. This one is synthetic and can be used for both. And that's a good thing about synthetic brushes, is that you can use it for a powder and cream. So this one's good. You can blend. I use this one to blend foundation. It's really nice. Okay. You can use it for a blusher, so you can use it as a blush brush. I wouldn't use this as a powder blush because,
it's quite
like
small,
I said,
isn't it?
It doesn't have. It doesn't have that,
Let's compare the two.
Right. So you can see the density. So this one, you can see even when you touch, it's a bit stiffer, and so you really want a lot of stiffness to do accurate things with your makeup applications. For instance, this brush right here, it's very flat. It's to be used for eyebrows. You can use it to do eyeliner if you wanted to. Eyebrows, this one is an angle brush, so they're similar. So I use both of these actually, and I'm just going to hold them together. One is an angle, which is better for arching, but also if you're using it for a liner, and like I said, both of these can be used for a liner or your eyebrows. Your angle brush can produce that cat eye on that angle, where this one, you could still do it, but it's easier with this one.
Right, okay.
Also with the eyebrow, doing the arch, it's better with the slanted one. So then you have the different shapes as well.
This is where it starts to get confusing for me.
So you can see that the difference between these two brushes. One is a contour brush,
which is
this one right here. Right. And one is not you can use it for contouring, but basically they call this a contour brush because it does just fit nicely under the cheekbone on that slant, whereas this is a flat surface. You can do more of the blusher, but here you just want to get that kind of thin underneath, bringing it up, and this is a perfect brush for that. I mean, this one here, because
I love this brush.
I love this brush as well. It's my magic one when things are complete. It's the powder brush.
It's just so relaxing.
The fan. Sometimes I use it if I get a little bit hot. If Chrissy's getting a little bit hot, we use this. But it's multiple purpose. Like I said, you can use the brushes for different purposes. But this one is to apply, obviously not so accurate, and it's just to get that shine, just to finish that, to set different areas. I like it because under the eyes as well, just the shape, it's easy for me to get in there. But like I said, the shape, right, that's a big thing. So you get the eyeshadow application brushes, and so if you have a really small eyelid, you're not going to want,
unlike
which this one is, you're not going to want one like that, is it? Because basically you're gonna have a mess. So, but you could always blend it out, and this is a blender brush. So if you do make a mess, this one's a bit different. I'm not sure if you can see.
Yeah, you have to kind of.
How does that? Can you see that? Basically, it's circular. It's circular at the top.
It's kind of got a little dent inside, hasn't it? It's not.
Yeah,
very,
can you
it's not
see
the
that?
brush,
I'm
the
gonna
bristles
just try
on.
again here. It's circular and it's a bit chunky. It's not flat. So it's good. It's good for blending. You can blend out those lines. And I was just saying that if you had a fat brush like that and you applied your eyeshadow and you wanted to blend it out, you wouldn't put obviously eyeshadow on this. You could just blend it out without any eyeshadow on there and get that smooth application. And that's a blender brush. I think that this brush as well as this brush, this is a crease, it's very narrow and it fits into the crease. So it's to blend that second color into the crease. Basically I would use it in the crease here, and I'm going to do this. It's not going to wreck your makeup because it's actually the same color. But basically it fits in there. You can kind of smoosh it around. And do you feel it? It's kind of soft and it flexes with that. So that is brilliant for blending because it's going to go into that crease nicely. It's going to go and it's going to just smooth that color and blend it in. Whereas a one like this one, it's a bit stiffer.
Yeah.
So, there are different purposes. But also, I could use this to contour. I could put a bronzer, or not a bronzer, but maybe 2 shades darker, and I could use this for a cream. I could use this, it's synthetic. So like I said, they're guidelines, but there are, there are some brushes you wouldn't use for, let's say, an eyeliner, right? The kabuki brush. So this one, I love this one, kabuki, because it's fun to say.
Is that the only reason, Maegan?
Not the only reason. Another reason is because it's brilliant for just blending, and it is brilliant for applying that bronzer.
Right.
So, you have that, you can put that, just lightly where the sun touches, just lightly there, and it is a brilliant brush for blending as well. If you have mineral foundation, which is the kind of powder-based foundation that kind of needs that blending, you can then get that very nice application with a kabuki brush as well as any kind of dense brush with that density. You see that? That's a good brush.
We're almost out of time. We've got a minute left.
Is it?
We don't have time to answer the question, do we? No.
No.
Do you know, we did have a question from a viewer, from Raphael, and she was asking the best way to remove eye makeup without damaging your eyes. So
Very sensitive skin, so I do have an answer for you.
We do have an answer, so we'll be letting you know
next week.
All right, so after the break, I'll be answering a question from a viewer, and also we're back with Excel with some more news.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show. Now let's just answer this question from a viewer before we go back to Excel with some more news. And she says, "Hi Chrissy, I'm up for promotion in my workplace, but I keep getting knockbacks. I was training for a position, but my colleagues were complaining that I was getting special treatment, which I was not. But now the managers are always trying to put me down and discourage me. What would you do, Chrissy?" Now, I'm going to be really straight with this because it's funny, but I've had a few questions along the same lines of sort of problems in the workplace, colleagues not sort of liking it when someone's going for promotion. And you say here that I was training for a position. I really hope you haven't stopped the training because of what's going on. Don't stop your training, please. And if you have stopped, start again, because the truth is, whenever we try to better ourselves or to get ahead in careers and things like that, there will always, unfortunately, be people that will try to discourage us. It's a part of life. It's something that we have to get used to. Not everyone's nice, not everyone's encouraging. For whatever reason, sometimes it's because maybe a bit jealous, maybe they don't feel they're insecure themselves. So we can't pay attention to these things that are going on. So I would say to you, if I were you, I would just ignore everyone. Unless, of course, it's constructive criticism, that's a different thing altogether. But if you see people are actually trying to discourage you from moving forward and, going for that promotion, I would say ignore it and just go ahead anyway. These people aren't going to be with you forever anyway. So don't let it get to you. Keep moving forward. And I would say toughen up. And if people don't want to work as hard as you, or to maybe work as many hours to get better at their job, it's their problem. You do what you have to do, my darling. And I do hope that's helped. And if you have a question as well, you can email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Excel, my darling.
Hello.
How are you feeling? Still not?
Yes, well...
Bit better?
I'm still here.
She's surviving.
I'm still sitting.
So what did you have for us? You had something else to tell us, didn't you?
Yes, I'm sure we must have all heard about the Kim and Kanye wedding by now.
Yes, we covered it in our last show, actually.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd give you a bit more of imagery, shall I say. Did you get to see a picture of her dress?
No, I didn't actually, but I heard it was a little bit like Kate Middleton's dress.
Well, I think similar-ish.
A bit raunchier.
I think Kim wore it very well. It was a bit of a hot-to-trot wedding dress. And first of all, here we have a picture of them having their first married kiss. That wall behind there is a wall of flowers, and it's absolutely gorgeous. This happened in Italy. And then we have a picture of them after the ceremony coming out saying goodbye. Whoever's got a good eyesight will see Northwest is literally, that's the name of their child, their daughter. North is just right beside Kim. So to the left of the picture, North is just there being carried by, I think, Kim's mother, Chris. And the ceremony was beautiful. Apparently it wasn't seen as a typical Hollywood ceremony because it was quite intimate, though they did splash a lot of cash. And I think her dress was $200,000 or something ridiculous like that. But it was, it was quite an intimate ceremony. I think sort of coming up from that, the dramas about we must have also heard about the famous fight in the lift of Jay-Z and his sister-in-law. And leading on from that, it was alleged that the reason why Solange had a fight with Jay-Z was because he was apparently flirting with Kim's best friend.
Oh dear.
Oh yes, the plot thickens. So this is where this whole thing started off. So therefore, Jay-Z was no longer Kanye's best man. They're quite good buddies as well, which is quite disappointing. So following on from that, they did not attend the wedding. So Jay-Z and Beyonce.
See, I thought they just had something else to do, or they didn't want to be caught in the
they did, yeah, I think they didn't want to be in the same place because obviously this woman was at this ceremony. I forget her name now, really, because Rachel Roy, because apparently because of this alleged flirtation thing going on between her and Jay-Z, she was actually snubbed at the wedding. So that was another thing which was not very very nice, really. And I think following on from that as well, I think there was some concern as to whether Beyonce was actually angry or whatever with Kim, but of course she wasn't, because she did post on Twitter and said something along the lines of wishing you a lifetime of unconditional love. God bless your beautiful family. And I think it was quite no hostility seen in that message.
And maybe those reports are completely false.
Well, exactly. This is the thing.
As many celeb stuff
can be. Absolutely. But then also her brother wasn't able to be there either. His name is his name is Rob, and Rob Kardashian could not be at the wedding simply because
very unusual.
Yeah, but again, the news report, because as the wedding was going on, he was actually seen on the other end of the he was just arriving back in LA. Apparently because he had been there, but he had to go because he felt insecure about his weight, and he had a bit of weight issues, and so he didn't feel confident to stand by the family as they took photos.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, those who know the Kardashian family well, I personally don't, I have to say. But I have very reliable sources who watch the Kardashian series on TV, long-standing series. They watch, they obviously put their lives out there. And Rob has had a struggle with his weight back and forth. Okay. And so now he's a bit on the weighty side. It's not just the ladies, is it? Well, yeah, this is the thing. So now he's a bit on the weighty side, so he couldn't make it, and he wasn't able to...
Obviously, on the cuddly side, that's
well,
what
exactly.
We'll
Just
cuddly,
cuddleable, like just cuddlyable. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And so, of course...
And there's always Photoshop.
Well, I think they don't really use that for the men, you see, that's why.
Well, if it's a wedding picture, it's something different, isn't it? They could always do a little nip-tuck here and there.
You're encouraging Photoshopping.
No, but I'm just saying, it's your sister's wedding, and rather than not be in the picture, well, I suppose he could always take a picture of himself later and just slot it into the...
Well, exactly. Or you could just stand at the back, Chrissy. There's several ways to just pop your head out of the crowd and just go hi or something. Hide behind somebody. He's tall, so he could get away with it. At least he looks tall from what I see in the photos. So it could have found a way.
His sister's wedding.
Unfortunately, yeah. But the good thing about it as well is after they finished the ceremony in Italy, they came to good old Ireland for their honeymoon. And they were in Cork, and they apparently did some sort of dinner and a movie type outing, and so they were seen out in the streets of Cork. And
that's quite an unusual place for a honeymoon.
I know.
I suppose if you've been around the world, it's something completely different, isn't it?
Just do something, exactly. But the thing is, this then started, you know how I like my social media dramas? This then started another thing on Twitter, because people, as you know, we all have our sense of humor here, and people started posting things on Twitter saying, I've just seen Kanye just pop down my local Aldi, came up for somebody wrote something about, he's just popped in Aldi to get some wellies or something. And so, of course, the entertainment reporter all the way back in LA was like, really? Give me more news. I want to expose this and blah, blah, blah. And you just think, we were having a laugh, love. But in the end,
I've seen that in Aldi, please.
Well, exactly. But at the end of the day, this reporter now became she became the joke of Twitter, because people kept posting all sorts of different things about different celebrities. So, would you like to know about so-and-so? I found so-and-so. And they just kind of started taking the mick out of her, really, the poor girl. But I think when she caught on to that, she took down the previous tweet about, tell me more about this. So, yes. But we have to say, I do wish Kim and Kanye...
After all that.
After all that. I mean, it is her third wedding, but let's just hope this is it for good, because she has now actually changed her name to West. So she is Kim Kardashian West.
That's a big thing, isn't it, I think, because her name is very famous. I mean, she's kept it as a middle name. Yeah. I kept my surname as my middle name, because I liked my previous surname.
Well, there you go. See,
Odysseus.
Kim Kardashian is following in Chrissy B's footsteps. How about that for inspiration? See?
Have you finished?
Well, if you want me
No, it's okay. We can go now. Thank you very much, Excel, for
You're
the lovely
very welcome.
news.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for making the effort to be here when you don't feel very well. That's much appreciated. See
My
the dedication here. Wonderful. Alrighty, so we have reached the end of the show. So if you want more information about the show or any of our guests this evening, you can visit the website chrissybshow.tv. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, if you have your own success story you'd like to share, or you have a question for me, you can email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.
Shut up!
Okay.
Yeah? Today for Ladies at Lunch, I've come to the Hill Bar and Brasserie, which is in Haverstock. Oh, so noisy. I'm trying to get in a happy mood, sorry. Today I'm outside the... Sorry. At least we've ordered the food. Today for Ladies at Lunch, I've come down to the Hill Bar and Brasserie, which is on Haverstock Hill. We've come down to try the new menu. Joanna's inside waiting for me. Let's go and have a look. Today for Ladies at Lunch, I've come to the Hill Bar and Brasserie, which is on the... Oh!